The storm came out of nowhere. One moment, the streets of the city were buzzing with people heading home, horns blaring in traffic, neon lights reflecting on wet pavement. The next, clouds opened up, and rain hammered down so hard it blurred everything. Sam Carter didn't panic. He couldn't afford to. His 6-year-old daughter, Emily, was asleep on his shoulder, her small arms wrapped around his neck. He tightened his jacket around her, whispering gently, "Almost home, kiddo. Just a little longer." Sam was used to unexpected storms. Not just the weather, the storms of life. For the past 3 years, since his wife passed away, he had been raising Emily alone. Life hadn't been kind, but he learned to keep moving. He worked long shifts at Hale Logistics, a massive company that owned the very warehouse where he stacked crates for barely enough pay. Every dollar mattered, every minute of overtime counted. And yet, none of that showed in his face as he stood under the flickering awning of an old bookstore, cradling his daughter with the calm patience of a man who knew what truly mattered. That's when she appeared, a blur of black heels splashing through puddles, a coat clutched to her chest, her hair plastered to her face. She ducked under the same awning, exhaling sharply, clearly frustrated. Her phone buzzed in her hand, but when she lifted it, the screen went dark, battery dead. Sam looked at her just once and froze. He knew her face. Victoria Hale, CEO of Hale Logistics. His boss's boss's boss. The woman who owned the company that decided whether he could pay rent next month. She stood only a few feet away, shivering in the downpour, completely out of place. Victoria Hale wasn't supposed to be here. Women like her lived in glass towers, not on the sidewalk with ordinary men like him. But the storm didn't care. It put them side by side. Sam hesitated. Should he say something? Pretend he didn't know who she was? He almost stayed quiet, until Emily stirred in his arms, letting out a soft whimper. Without thinking, he shifted his jacket, pulling it wider to cover Victoria too. "You'll catch a cold," he said simply. Victoria blinked, caught off guard. No one ever offered her anything without expecting something in return. But his eyes were steady, his voice sincere. "You're giving me your coat?" she asked, half smiling despite the rain. Sam shrugged. "You looked cold. Doesn't matter who you are." For a moment, the storm faded into the background. Something shifted. Victoria noticed the little girl, her damp curls sticking to her cheeks. "She's beautiful," she whispered. "That's Emily," Sam said softly. "She's my whole world." Emily blinked awake, rubbing her eyes. She looked at Victoria with sleepy honesty and said, "You look like a princess." Victoria knelt, her expensive clothes soaking in puddles, and smiled warmly. "And you, young lady, are braver than any princess I've ever met." Sam chuckled. He hadn't seen Victoria Hale on a magazine cover. He had seen her humanity, kneeling in the rain to make his daughter smile. Minutes passed, the storm refusing to let up. And then, as if to make things harder, Victoria's car pulled up across the street. Her driver stepped out, umbrella in hand, but the rain was so fierce, the street between them looked like a river. Sam shifted Emily and said, "Let me walk you across. Safer that way." Victoria looked at him, really looked at him. He wasn't polished. His shoes were worn, his hair damp, his shoulders weighed down with responsibility. But there was a quiet strength in him that her world of polished boardrooms never showed her. Together, they stepped into the rain. Sam shielded both women with his jacket, his arm strong around Emily, his other steadying Victoria as her heels slipped on the slick pavement. By the time they reached the car, Victoria wasn't just dry under his jacket. She was safe, and for a woman who had built her empire by trusting no one, that feeling was rare. Before leaving, she surprised herself by asking, "Where do you live? Can we give you a ride?" Sam shook his head. "We're close, but, thank you." Victoria hesitated, then offered her hand. Sam Carter, right, I'll remember that. The next morning, Sam went to work as if nothing had happened. But the memory of Victoria's laughter, her kneeling to talk to Emily, wouldn't leave him. And apparently, it hadn't left her either. A week later, Sam was called into his manager's office. His stomach dropped. Had he done something wrong? But instead of scolding, his manager smiled. "Sam, do you know who you met during that rainstorm?" "That was Victoria Hale. She told me what you did. She said it was A sign. Sam frowned. A sign. His manager leaned forward. She believes people show their true character when no one's watching. And she saw yours. She wants you in the management training program. Better pay. More stability. More time with your daughter. Sam was stunned. He had done nothing extraordinary. Just shared a jacket. Just been kind. But to Victoria, it was everything. In the weeks that followed, Victoria visited the warehouse more often. At first, it was professional. She'd check operations, speak with supervisors. But somehow, she always found a reason to say hello to Sam. Emily adored her. Whenever she visited, Emily would run to her with open arms, and Victoria would kneel, expensive heels forgotten, lifting the little girl as if she were family. Sam tried not to read too much into it. She was a CEO. He was just a warehouse worker. But then came the day Victoria invited them both to a company charity gala. Sam nearly refused. He had no suit, no tie, nothing that would fit in. But Victoria made sure one was delivered to his apartment. That night, as Sam entered the glittering ballroom, Emily holding his hand, all eyes turned. Whispers followed. Who was this single father that Victoria Hale welcomed so warmly? And in that moment, Sam realized something. This wasn't just gratitude on her part. This wasn't pity. It was connection. Real, human connection. The story didn't end there. It wasn't perfect. There were challenges. People whispered about their differences, about how a CEO shouldn't be seen with a warehouse worker. Sam himself doubted if he belonged in her world. But every time he faltered, Victoria reminded him of that rainstorm. Sam, she told him one night, her voice soft, you didn't see me as a CEO. You saw me as a person. That's why I believe this was meant to happen. The rain wasn't just rain, it was a sign. And slowly, Sam began to believe it too. Because sometimes love doesn't arrive in grand gestures or perfect moments. Sometimes, it arrives in the middle of a storm, under a broken awning, when two worlds collide and kindness becomes the bridge between them.